Morning, all. All right, I can say that it's still 13 minutes until it's the afternoon here at the time I'm starting recording this. So I've already pre-recorded two videos today. This is technically my third video, and we will be on the road tomorrow morning. So there's two games tomorrow that I'll be talking about in a preview. I will not be able to see those as we will be on the road at the time. But we can get into some news of the day at this point. Some kind of interesting news out there. First off, Mark Scheifele's been alerted by Team Canada that he could be an injury replacement. Could it be for Sidney Crosby? That's the question that's out there. Crosby's status at this point still unknown, and what they're saying is it could be Monday morning before we know who's replacing who. So I will be making videos while I'm in California. I just want to make sure that I can enjoy my day, and basically what I'll be doing down there will be news videos as news breaks. So don't be worried about, oh, he's not on the clock. I'm still going to be on the clock. It's a much easier schedule for me when I'm down there. So Scheifele could end up being a replacement for Team Canada. We'll see who else ends up being replacements. Rantanen's not playing today against Utah for Carolina. He still should play in the Four Nations tournament. The ESPN feed for the Tampa Bay Detroit game only mentioning Four Nations like 60, 70 times. My wife and I both agreed listening to it. It really sounds like please watch. Please watch. And the question that I have with it too is, so does the NHL get the announcers like, okay, you guys got to really hype this up, really hype up this Four Nations tournament? It feels odd. It feels really strange. How much hype? Like the commercials every 10 seconds. We know. I feel like at this point we know. So if you got an ad on this video that's about Four Nations, I apologize. But once the tournament gets started, that commercial should be turfed. We don't really know. It won't be turfed until after the tournament's done. Anyways, so Rantanen should play at Four Nations, not playing today. I do find it interesting that general managers are basically saying, look, these players can play in Four Nations even if they're not playing first right now. I do find that a little bit odd because for All-Star game reasons you would think that wouldn't be acceptable, but apparently for wearing your country's jersey, it is. Quinn Hughes is dealing with an oblique injury. And so at about 1:30 my time, which is 4:30 Eastern, Rick Tocchet's supposed to have his media availability. Bill Guerin, the general manager of Team USA for this tournament, is not commenting on Quinn Hughes' situation, just saying, yeah, he's dealing with something right now. So that tells you Quinn Hughes, very unlikely to be playing at Four Nations. There have been criticisms from Canuck fans and from some of the media as well that Hughes clearly not 100%. Why aren't they keeping him out of the lineup? And so those questions will likely come up again if this turns out to be the same injury he's been dealing with for a while. So it doesn't sound like Hughes will be playing tonight for Vancouver against Toronto, and it is unlikely, I would think at this point, that he's going to play at the Four Nations tournament. Jesse Puljujarvi. So this is interesting news. The Pittsburgh Penguins have placed him on unconditional waivers. It's a contract termination for Puljujarvi. He was just up with the team this past week. So Puljujarvi's journey in the National Hockey League, does this mean that it's coming to an end and he's heading over to Europe to play there? I would think probably so. And Puljujarvi can end up in a video at some point in time by yours truly talking about players that just it hasn't worked at the NHL level and high expectations. I could probably do an interesting video on that, to be honest, because names come to mind right away. I mean, obviously Dag is one that comes out, but Pavel Brendel is one that I would definitely be mentioning in a video like that too, where sometimes these guys are really highly thought of as prospects and it just doesn't work at the NHL level. And people want to point fingers at the general manager or the scouts or at the player, and in all likelihood it's a combination of everything that leads to this kind of thing. Utah, Kolyachonok's on waivers for them. Everybody on waivers yesterday did clear. So Kolyachonok on waivers, I wouldn't be surprised if he's claimed, to be honest. He's a young defenseman. There are teams that could use a young defenseman. The Islanders are collecting defensemen, so who knows, maybe they'll pick one up. The Islanders collecting defensemen because every Islanders defenseman seems to be hurt right now. So, yeah, we'll see if Kolyachonok clears. Shesterkin. So I'm wearing the Rangers jersey, and it's my JT Miller. When Miller went back to the Rangers, I was like, good, I can wear my Miller jersey again. But now he's wearing number 8, and this is number 10. So I see what he did there. So he wore 10, now he wore 9 in Vancouver, now he's wearing 8 with the Rangers. Fine. It's counting down is what. So what's going to happen is eventually JT Miller's going to wear number 1. He's going to be a goaltender. You're going to be like, when did he become... Oh, yeah, makes sense. So, yeah, Shesterkin's out for 1 to 2 weeks, so he'll be back after the Four Nations tournament's done. The Rangers not playing tomorrow, so he misses one game. Garon's been called up. Jonathan Quick to be the starter, and Shesterkin's out 1 to 2 weeks. So it's nothing major, and I mean, it's going to probably affect if he has vacation plans during the 2 weeks. But yeah, he'll be out for 1 to 2 weeks, and he'll be back after the tournament's done. Last night, the LA Kings won in a shootout over the Dallas Stars. Yesterday, I did, I want to say, like 10 videos altogether. By the end of that game, like my eyes weren't working. And then I had to do, after that was done last night, I had to do a power rankings for while I'm on vacation. So for next Sunday, I did something different with the power rankings. So tonight's power rankings will be for right now, and then the one a week from now will be for something different. But the LA Kings had won in overtime, and I turned it off. That's what I do with the games. Is the game's done? All right, it's overtime, shootout, whatever it is. That's your winner. Done. The app showed me that the game was finished as well, and then apparently LA won anyways, but they won in a shootout. So I don't feel bad because it was still the same team that won in the end, just in a shootout rather than overtime, which I think is, I understand. But the funny thing is, that's not the first time that's happened. And I feel like it was an LA game that happened before where there was an overtime winner. I turned the TV off and I did the review, and then it ended up going to a shootout. I'm pretty sure that happened last season. So maybe it's a tradition with California games that, psych, THG turned the game off. At any rate, yeah, so there was a shootout win over Dallas instead. It does not change any of the power rankings updates I did yesterday. None of them. All right, so 2 games tomorrow in the National Hockey League. They're both early because it's Super Bowl Sunday. I will be missing the Super Bowl as well. So when Kansas City wins via interesting means, I won't be able to see that. But tomorrow, 2 games, one starting at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, and one starting a half an hour after that. So at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, the Utah Hockey Club in Washington. Utah currently in Carolina. So that's not easy going from Carolina to Washington. Utah currently, and the result of the Carolina game not factored in because it's not done yet. 23-22-9 record for Utah, 5-3-2 in their last 10 coming into today. Whereas Washington 36-11-7 overall, 7-1-2 in their last 10 coming into today as well. And then tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, Tampa Bay, who are currently in Detroit. That game in between periods as I'm recording this. They will be in Montreal. Montreal currently hosting New Jersey, which is going into the third period as well. Tampa Bay, again, these records are before today's games because I'm not psychic. 29-20-4 record, 5-4-1 record over the last 10 for Tampa. Montreal 25-24-5, 3-6-1 in their last 10. And as I've mentioned lately, it feels like they've faded again from the playoff contention. But they're tough. They're not easy to play against, and they're doing their best. So kudos to them for that, but there you go. So let me know your winners for tomorrow's Super Bowl Sunday games. And I will definitely be doing more videos on this channel today. We'll see how many of them go live today and how many of them go live later. By my last count, I have 24 videos that are pre-recorded from home here to go live on the channel while I'm on vacation at Disneyland so that you guys have your daily fix. Plus, when I was doing videos before when I'd be on holiday, there'd always be I hate the look of the hotel room and the audio's terrible and the video quality, and it's like, okay, so I just pre-record now, and it means that I do get to actually get a mental break, which is nice. This schedule this season's been crazy, so looking at the Olympics for next year and realizing that's probably going to be a 3-week to 3.5-week shutdown for the NHL. Next season's going to be interesting. So let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. It's greatly appreciated. I will talk to you again soon.